Bom dia, pessoal. Bom dia a todos. Bonjour, bonjour. Estão me ouvindo bem? Por favor, falem aqui no chat. Bom dia. Roberto está por aí. Bonjour, Antônio. Bom dia, bonjour. Maravilha. Maravilha. Todo mundo ouvindo bem? Para mais uma edição do CAP Convida, com uma convidada super especial, diretamente de Paris, essa cidade que a gente ama, que eu adoro particularmente, tenho certeza que muitos de vocês também. Esperando o pessoal entrar um pouquinho. O som tá ótimo, Andréia, escutando bem, perfeito, maravilha. Bonjour à tous. Ó, todo mundo falando em francês, acho que a gente pode fazer até em francês, pelo jeito. Brincadeira, gente, vai ser em português e em inglês. A Laura vai falar em inglês com a gente. E a Nanda. Ok, pessoal, maravilha. Dá só uns minutinhos para o pessoal ir entrando e aí a gente começa, tá bom? Como sempre, só para lembrá-los, né? Esse treinamento está sendo gravado, né? E hoje mesmo, no final do dia, a gente vai enviar uma newsletter para vocês de agradecimento com todo o conteúdo. Então, a gravação do treinamento, a apresentação em PDF e também os vídeos dos hotéis que a gente vai apresentar. Então, fiquem tranquilos, eu tenho e-mail de todos vocês aqui. E vou mandar a apresentação para todo mundo, tá bom? Cati, bonjour, Cati. Maravilha. Bom, mais um minutinho e aí a gente começa. Maravilha. Maria Helena, bonjour, Maria Helena. Ok. Pessoal, lembrem de marcar a CAP Amazon, @CAP Amazon, @Esprit de France, que tem um Instagram também super legal. E vocês podem marcar, a gente fica feliz quando vocês participam dos nossos treinamentos. E a CAP também tem um canal no YouTube, né? Então se inscrevam e ali tem todos os conteúdos, as capacitações e as edições do CAP Convida que a gente fez desde lá do começo da pandemia, desde o mês de abril, que foi quando a gente começou, tá bom? Bom, vamos começar então. Hoje eu estou com a Laura Panaccioni, que é diretora comercial da Esprit de France. Ela vai contar um pouquinho dos hotéis e das demeures, né, os châteaux, os castelos espalhados pela França. Então, por favor, fiquem à vontade para mandar dúvidas, perguntas, curiosidades sobre a França em geral e também especificamente sobre os hotéis da Esprit de France. Então, bonjour, Laura.
Bonjour.
Merci. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Everything's fine here. It's afternoon here, but it's a beautiful sunny day.
Yes, summertime in Paris, so beautiful weather. Right?
Yeah, exactly. We're still taking advantage. It's the end, but it's still beautiful.
Nice. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation. It's a pleasure to work with Esprit de France. So please present to our agents, our friends from all over Brazil, your beautiful properties all around France. It's your turn. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here today. Today I'm in my home office. I'm not in one of my beautiful hotels. I hope to be there. But today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Esprit de France, who we are. Many people don't know us or the collection, and it's a great opportunity to tell you about the company that's behind all the properties, as well as the type of properties that we have. Here we go. Let me just get there. So we have 40 at the moment, in any case. It changes usually with 1 or 2 properties more or less every year. But this year we're at 46 properties in total in all of the regions of France. We have 9 boutique hotels in Paris. They're all true boutique hotels. So the smallest has 19 rooms and the largest has 62 rooms. So it really is small size hotels, great locations with a similar type of decor and feel to it in each of the hotels, but they're each very different and unique in their own ways. We have 2 luxury hotels outside of Paris, one in the very north of France and then one in the south in Aix-en-Provence. And then on top of that, to complete our full collection, are 35 castles, chateaux, and historic properties throughout France. Now, it's a mix of old farmhouses. Some of them are listed monuments of France that are still within the same family generations later. And then some of them are hotels, usually 4 or 5-star hotels. Some are run like guest houses as well. And then others have as I mentioned, the ratings of 4-star or 5-star. We cover almost all the regions of France, just already in Paris, but you'll have Normandy, Brittany, Loire Valley, Burgundy, Provence, one on the Côte d'Azur, up in the Rhone Valley, and then in Champagne as well. And then, as I mentioned, the one hotel up in the Hauts-de-France, in the northern, near Lille. To explain a little bit about our properties, it's first of all, Esprit de France. We're a family-run company. It was created in 1981 by our founder. His name is Christophe Paluel-Marmont. The company that is our mother company is called Compagnie Le Bon. It's a family-run company. It's existed for over 150 years. And as often is the case in family-run companies, one member of the family has interests elsewhere. And Christophe Paluel-Marmont, he loves architecture, loves old buildings. And the story started with our first hotel, which is the Hotel des Saints-Pères in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, in 1981, where we purchased the hotel, had it fully renovated, and while renovating, they found a beautiful original fresco on the ceiling of one of the rooms. So Mr. Paluel-Marmont said, this needs to stay as a hotel. We need to declare that for the travelers coming to Paris. And so that was a lot of the companies that help the property coming, the 9 in Paris are and then outside of Paris, 2 are ours as well. And then all of the 35 that we saw.
Sorry to interrupt you. The sound is not very good. They are saying tem interferência de outros, tem alguém com o microfone aberto. Can you please put your head? I think it will be better, the quality of the sound.
Okay.
Você não tem como ter microfone aberto, porque só o nosso tá liberado. Mas agora vamos ver com o fone se vai melhorar a qualidade, tá bom? Por favor, avisem. Let's try again, Laura.
Okay.
Please.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better. Much better.
Okay, great.
A little bit slowly. I think it's going to be easier for them to catch all the details. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, I heard some voices, but here in my house is very quiet. But I did hear some noises.
Much better now.
Let me just see. I'll put the pointer on up. That means just so I can. So the 35 castles and historic properties, those are all independent properties. They apply to be part of Esprit de France, and we send a team to go visit the property and to make sure that they share similar values as our founder, as our company. In terms of family welcoming guests as if they were family, but also history and understanding the hospitality side of having guests come in to stay in beautiful properties. I mentioned we were founded in 1981. Every property is unique, different. However, the things that are similar between our properties is that they're all very historical, a beautiful architecture, great location, with service that's very family friendly, but also like family. And we most of the time have spacious rooms and beautiful nature around our properties. Today, I'm going to start in Paris. I won't go into detail of all 9 hotels because at the moment we only have 3 hotels open. So I'll talk more about the hotels that are open today. I'll show you the map. That way you can see all of our properties in Paris. I don't know, you might recognize some of the hotels, but for the most part, some in certain international destinations, a lot of people don't know. Great locations, as I mentioned before. We have 6 on the left bank, and 6 on the right bank and 3 on the left bank. Our main hotel is the Brighton, which I'll tell you about because it's open now. And we are in great, this is a lot of noise. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me okay.
Now it's working well.
Okay.
Yes, here it's working well. Yeah.
Okay. And our neighborhoods that our hotels are located in are in Louvre, the Tuileries Gardens, the Fashion District, Opera, Place Vendôme, Champs-Élysées, and then on the left bank we're in Saint-Germain, Musée d'Orsay, and in Saint-Michel area and the Latin Quarter. And I'll start on the right bank, which is with the Hotel Brighton. So Hotel Brighton, as I mentioned, is our largest hotel. We have 62 rooms in this hotel. The style and decor is going to be more on the classical side. The advantage of this hotel being the location, we're right across the street from the Tuileries Gardens. So half of the rooms are going to have 180-degree panoramic views of the city. Very spacious rooms as well. It was created as a hotel, as a luxury hotel. So the rooms are large. They have lots of space, which is quite unique sometimes when you talk about 4-star hotels in Paris. What I forgot to mention, in Paris, all of our properties are 4-star. So we're looking at the 4-star, sometimes 4-star superior level. So depending on the neighborhood that your clients are looking to stay or the style of the hotel. We also have 2 new hotels that opened recently that have more contemporary decor. We could find a property that would match what your clients are looking for. The Hotel Brighton, as I mentioned, has what it's known for are the views. This would be only a partial part of the view because all the way to the right you also have the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and then on the left you have the Louvre. So what you see on this photo is the Musée d'Orsay and Invalides in front of you. And I mentioned spacious rooms and more classical decor at this hotel. But 62 rooms. Also, all of our hotels in Paris, none of them have restaurants, but they do have breakfast, and breakfast is included for bookings that are through travel advisors and a 24-hour service. So the front desk is there to serve your clients and throughout their stay. And Fernanda, I think we'll show you a little video to get a better idea of the Brighton.
I'm Salvo Nicosia. I work in fashion PR, so I'm very often in Paris. It's important for me when I'm in Paris to feel at home, and that's why I'm at the Brighton since maybe 12 years. The area is absolutely convenient and strategic. Most of the shows happen around this area, between Place Vendôme, also the tent and the Jardin des Tuileries. I generally start my day at 8:30 in the morning. I love to have my breakfast in the room here, reviewing the Tuileries and this fantastic view. I love the idea of being in a historical building, and I love this old Hotel de Charme, which I think the Brighton is a perfect representation. And I love that there's still some of the original furniture in the room, some of the paintings. They don't make it look like any other hotel in the world. Now, I love to come here and get in the Brighton and have the manager Frederic or having John to welcome me personally, always making sure that my room is ready, because they know that then I arrive, I need to get ready for my day. And those type of attentions are really what makes the difference, and what makes me always choosing the Hotel Brighton.
So that was the Brighton, and we're going to move to the next location, which is just a few minutes walk away from the Brighton. In that whole area, we have about 4 hotels, so they're all within walking distance to each other. So we'll walk from Tuileries Gardens back towards the Opera, end up on the Place Vendôme. On the corner of the Place Vendôme, we have the Hotel Mansart. Hotel Mansart is in an old, what used to be a private mansion to the jeweler of the king, and it has now been converted into a 4-star hotel. There are 57 rooms in total at this beautiful hotel. Again, very typical of Esprit de France is a more classical decor. This hotel will have a few touches of contemporary design to it as well. And as, for example, this room, you can see this is a deluxe Vendôme. It has a view of the Place Vendôme as well. Our rooms at this hotel are spacious, again, very unique in Paris. We have a lot of options for families. At the Brighton as well, many options for families, connecting rooms, as well as rooms that will sleep up to 3. At the Brighton, we have rooms that will sleep up to 4 and connecting rooms as well. So our options tend to have options available even at high season. And here you can see the lobby as well as the breakfast room. And it's the same for the Brighton. This hotel will have a beautiful breakfast room and a bar, has an honesty bar as well, where our guests can serve themselves in the evening for a drink or to have a meeting with some friends or business meeting, whatever their needs may be. Fernanda will show you the video about the Hotel Mansart now.
Je m'appelle Douglas Chen, je suis américain de New York. Je travaille dans la mode. Je passe pas mal de temps dans les hôtels partout, à Londres, à New York, à Milan. Quand j'ai commencé à travailler sur Paris, les gens de la marque Comme des Garçons, c'est eux qui m'ont conseillé cet hôtel. C'est un coup de cœur. J'aime le fait que l'on est très proche de la rue Saint-Honoré, où j'ai quelques bonnes adresses. Ça fait presque 18 ans que je viens à Hotel Mansart et je reste dans la même chambre depuis 18 ans. Ce qui me plaît beaucoup dans cette chambre, c'est un bon mariage entre l'esprit de lieu, son histoire et le confort. J'aime bien ce côté des meubles anciens mélangés avec les touches contemporaines. Le cadre me plaît beaucoup, mais c'est vraiment l'équipe et les gens qui travaillent ici à l'Hôtel Mansart qui fait la différence. À l'Hôtel Mansart, c'est le seul hôtel où je me sens chez moi, vraiment.
So we're finished on the Place Vendôme. We move over to the left bank. Our hotel on the left bank that's open today is the Hotel des Saint-Pères in the wonderful Saint-Germain-des-Prés neighborhood. which I know is very popular with Brazilian travelers.
Exactly, Laura. Brazilians love Saint-Germain, so it's very important. All the locations are amazing. I mean, Rue de Rivoli for shopping, Brazilians love, so Brighton Hotel, Mansart Hotel as well, close to Place Vendôme, but Saint-Germain, it's special, that's true.
It is, it's special. It's great. It's great for shopping. It's great for cafes, for the true Parisian feel and local feel. I love it as well. That was my first place I lived when I moved to Paris, was Saint-Germain-des-Prés. I had a tiny, tiny apartment and it was right there. The Hotel de Saint-Père is, as I mentioned before, it was our first hotel. We opened it in 1981. Obviously, it's been through several renovations since. It's a beautiful property, very historic. Each room is unique. That's often what you get in these older buildings. They have a very different. Some are going to be very high ceilings, other a little bit lower ceilings. Sometimes you have the wooden beams on the ceilings of some of the rooms as well. But that's what makes the hotel unique. Still very classical decor. This hotel has a beautiful collection of artwork. Some of them are very unique. Some of them are quite rare. We tend to send them to get renovated as well. And I think I'm sure that a lot of our guests who come to stay with us, they really appreciate the fact that they're surrounded by antique furniture and artwork that they can appreciate while they're staying in their room. Sometimes some guests say, I want to stay in this room because I love that painting. Or it's I think it's sometimes hard for the team because they can't always get the right room. So this hotel is smaller than the other two that I just showed you. 38 rooms in total. It does have, I mentioned the unique room. The reason why Esprit de France is here is this fresco suite, the fresco room, with this beautiful fresco on the ceiling of the room. There's only one, but it's very popular with honeymooners, with couples traveling to Paris. And then our hotel, almost all of our rooms at the Hotel de Saint-Père look out onto the courtyard where we have a patio where people can have their breakfast, but they could also have a cup of tea in the afternoon or a drink in the evening as well. There's a bar at the hotel that's very popular with local clientele. They go in, they even have, sometimes you could see popular French authors there having an interview in a corner of the bar or on the terrace. So it's a hotel that's quite famous in the neighborhood, and it's sometimes a little hidden, and you can sometimes walk right by and not see it, but it's very much appreciated. And Fernanda's going to show you a video of the Hotel de Saint-Père for our last video in any case.
Je m'appelle Françoise Salmon et je dirige l'hôtel de Saint-Père depuis 1993. Je suis restée dans cet hôtel parce qu'il y avait une ambiance qui me plaisait. Rien que ce petit jardin, quand je suis entrée la première fois, j'ai vu le petit jardin et la lumière qui se dégageait. Et pour moi, ça a été le flash. C'était à la fois la campagne, à la fois le cœur de Paris et Saint-Germain aussi. Il y avait également, à l'époque déjà, une très belle clientèle d'écrivains, d'artistes, de musiciens, de gens de lettres, qui fait que je me suis sentie bien dans cet hôtel, et c'est pas un hôtel standard. Il a été construit en 1658 par un architecte de Louis XIV qui s'appelait Daniel Gita. Il a fondé l'Académie d'architecture. C'est la raison pour laquelle nous avons eu ce plafond peint, cette fresque peinte dans les années 1770 par des élèves de l'école de Versailles, qui est maintenant transformée en chambre et qui est donc la chambre à la fresque. Nous avons également des suites. Elles ont l'énorme avantage, c'est d'être spacieuses, lumineuses et très tranquilles, puisqu'elles donnent sur le jardin. Les gens sont vraiment chez eux ici, ils sont dans leur maison.
Perfect.
Amazing. This fresco is really amazing, Laura. Very nice.
It's very unique. It's very unique. And there's one day every year in Paris where most monuments and historic buildings are open to the public. And we do this as well. We open the room to the public to come and visit and see the fresco. Other things that are open is the Élysée, where the president is as well, and other famous historic buildings. So it's on the list of places that Parisians and French people can come to visit on that one day because it is so unique. I'm now going to leave Paris and travel through France. We'll start in Aix-en-Provence. So though I mentioned the two hotels that are Esprit de France hotels. The first one is Hotel Le Pigonnet. Many of you might know it because it is a small luxury hotel. It's a 5-star hotel in the heart of Aix-en-Provence. Now, looking at the photos, you would not get the impression because it looks like it's like it's a resort out in the countryside. It has beautiful private gardens, and I believe that's why all of our guests come back every year to come and stay at this hotel. It's open year-round, typically. This summer, obviously, it started later than usual, but we did have a great summer starting from June until now. We'll cross our fingers for winter. And 45 rooms and suites in total at this hotel. We're about 10-minute walk to Cours Mirabeau, which is the main area of Aix-en-Provence. Is where you have all the restaurants and shops, and so it's an easy walk. But it's also easy to get to. You can fly into Marseille. It's a 25-minute drive from Marseille, or you could take the TGV from Paris. It's a 3-hour and 10 TGV ride from Paris. With the TGV, can also take you to Charles de Gaulle if you want to go straight from the hotel to Charles de Gaulle Airport. The style of the rooms are very Provençal style. This one is a junior suite, for example. It has a private terrace that overlooks the gardens, very peaceful. And very spacious, as you can see. We have a lot of options for families as well at the Hotel Le Pigonnet. What's new this year, however, is we opened a private villa. So we bought the house, the Provençal house, and we redid it and made it into a private villa. It has 4 bedrooms, private gardens, private swimming pool, and it's adjacent to the hotel. So it'd be for someone who's looking for something more exclusive. They want to have their own space, but they want to have access to the services and amenities of the hotel, and that they could have room service, they could have breakfast at the villa, and concierge services and everything that you would normally have at the hotel. And you feel like, again, you're out in the countryside, but you're right in Aix-en-Provence.
Very nice, Laura. I didn't know about the villa, and I think people will look more for villas, this kind of accommodation. So it's very nice. The location is amazing, and the hotel is really well known. A lot of people are saying the garden of Pigonnet is unique. So very nice, amazing.
It is. It really is. When you arrive, you've forgotten everything. It's absolutely stunning. I will quickly mention the hotel in the north. It doesn't tend to be a destination for Brazilians, but the reason why we opened a hotel in the city of Lens is this. As you can see, it's a new hotel. It opened in end of 2018 in old miners' cottages, and we're across the street from the Louvre Lens, the Hotel Louvre, the museum. I talk about hotels all the time. Museum Louvre Lens, the annex of the Louvre, opened 5 years ago, and in the town there was never any luxury hotel, so we opened a hotel across the street from that museum. And then for those travelers who want to discover all the different regions and our beautiful historic castles and manors throughout the different regions, here you can see on the map where we're located. There are some areas we don't have as many properties, but in the main regions that guests and travelers tend to ask for, we tend to have at least one to choose from. In Normandy and Brittany, we have 8 properties. Here we get an idea of what they will look like. I don't go into big detail of the properties, but as you can see, they're all very beautiful, very historic. Some are closer to Paris. The one, let me see, I can get the pointer again. It's already on, sorry. Oh, that way I can point it out. Can you see my pointer? Up.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So the Château de Bonnemort here is about an hour and 10 minutes from Paris. Many of them, the easiest way to get, obviously, would be to have a driver in a car or to rent a car. But some are actually not that difficult to get to by train. I'll point out a few that you could easily take a TGV from Paris for someone who doesn't want to have a car. They would rather just go straight to the property, either get a taxi or a driver to pick at the train station and take him to the property. The one in Caen, it's about a 20-minute drive from the city center of Caen, is the Château de Beignonville. That one, for example, would be easy to get to if you take a train from Paris. But again, my recommendation is to have a car. And if you don't want to drive, it's to have a driver and a car, because the region is, all the regions of France are so beautiful to discover, and it's nice to have that liberty. The Haute Source here is near Giverny, so it'd be nice to stay there and to visit Monet's gardens. It'd be a great getaway, even just for one night. If your clients are in Paris, they could go stay one night and visit Monet gardens, and then the next day go back to Paris. And Villado is our one property, is on the coast. So it's in a coast town in Normandy. It's 2 towns over from Deauville. So it's right near Deauville. For those people who know the coast of Normandy, Deauville is where all the Parisians go. It's very chic. It's a wonderful weekend getaway and summer getaway.
Yes, the perfect location, close to Paris, and another atmosphere, very nice. Exactly. And the film festival as well. It's pretty well-known American film festival.
Yes, exactly. That's nice. But the film festival, obviously, usually the whole region's booked up with all the hotels. It's very popular.
You have to book in advance, of course.
Exactly. And then also, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Also in Normandy, we have the Château de Beauséal and the Château de la Balue, 2 beautiful castles, each with 5 rooms each, that are near Mont Saint-Michel. For anyone visiting Mont Saint-Michel, those would be beautiful, very gorgeous historic chateaus to stay in. Château de la Balue is known for its beautiful gardens. They win every year awards for their gardens because they're absolutely stunning. It's also close to Saint-Malo in Brittany. It's about a 30-minute drive to Saint-Malo. And then an easier destination to get to is Honfleur. We have a lot of travelers going to Honfleur. The Manoir des Impressionnistes is a 5-star hotel right in the town of Honfleur. It overlooks the bay of Honfleur. Excuse me. And then a new property this year is the Hotel Tea à la Nec. It's on the pink granite coast of Brittany. So it's a little bit further to get to. Brittany is quite a distance from Paris, but for travelers who want to go a little bit further away and discover the absolutely stunning region of Brittany, that's a wonderful property. It's a little bit larger. We have 31 rooms and suites at that hotel. It's a 4-star hotel. Excuse me. We'll travel now to the Loire Valley. A lot of people go for visiting the beautiful castles, and why not stay in a castle yourself? It's also known for wines, and the wine regions, Sancerre, white wines, for example, come from the Loire Valley. The top castle officially is not in the Loire Valley. It's actually in Île-de-France. It's very close to Paris. Château de Bourron is only about an hour drives from Paris. It's easy to get to. You can take a train, or you could take a drive with a car for an hour. Traffic can sometimes get bad, so it might take a little bit longer. But if you take the train stop is not even a 5-minute walk to the castle. And the owner has an access where he can come and pick up the guests in a golf cart and pick up the guests from the train station and then just go straight into the castle's domain. This castle, they have 15 rooms, including a private building. So if you have a family, booking a family, that has 5 bedrooms as well as a new little house in the back. It's called Maison de la Source. It's on 2 levels. It's a beautiful little cottage that guests appreciate when they want to stay further away from the other guests at the castle.
Laura, just sorry to interrupt you. They are asking about events in the chateau, so
yes.
Especially wedding. Can you talk a little bit more about which hotels, except I think may not do? So if you can talk a little bit about wedding destination, it will be nice. Thanks.
Okay, of course. Almost all of them have the option to book for weddings. I would say about 90% of the castles can be booked for family events, weddings. They also can be used for shooting, photo shoots, for private events. It's something that they're used to. They have all their suppliers that they work for. If they need a tent, they could put up a tent. So it definitely is possible in almost all of the properties. For example, let me see, the Château de Bourron, which I mentioned, that's close to Paris, they get a lot of weddings and family events, as well as corporate events. They get a lot of corporate events because they are so close to Paris. It's an easy getaway for a small group of directors, for example, if they need to get away from their office to meet.
It's nice for an incentive trip. Exactly. We have especially incentives is very nice as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. The Château de Guizot here as well. They do weddings quite regularly. Obviously, this year was a difficult year for everyone because they had practically all of their weddings canceled. Hopefully, some of them were able to make up for it with the summer leisure travelers. But next year, apparently, they have quite a few bookings. But they're on a regular basis, we can book for events and weddings. The one on the bottom, the Château des Briotières, they have 17 rooms. So that one is a larger property. It's a 4-star hotel as well. And they do events on a regular basis. It's also close to Le Mans. So they do a lot of car events, old antique car events at their property, as well as weddings. The Château des Grotteaux on the top here, I'm going to mention because it's my bestseller in the Loire Valley because of the location. There are only 5 rooms at this castle, but the location is only about a 15-minute bicycle ride to the Château de Chambord. So they have bicycles on the property, as well as tennis courts, swimming pool. Almost all of the properties have swimming pools, outdoor swimming pools. And many of them do not have restaurants or the option of dining, but some of them, such as the Château des Briotières, offer the option of private dining. So they can provide private dining for our couples or families that are staying there. I'll keep on moving to make sure that we don't run out of time because there's a lot to talk about. I tend to talk too much about the beautiful properties. More
It's amazing. Don't worry, they're loving it, Laura. Don't worry.
More in the Loire Valley, as well as Château de Saint-Paterne, absolutely stunning. Again, also not far from Le Mans. Stunning property run by all of them. Are run by families, so it's a really a unique way to experience France. As you can tell by the properties, these are places that your guests, if you're booking for your clients, it's for someone who wants to have a truly authentic stay where they get involved with the owners and they can talk with the owners, and the owners will tell them where to go to have their dinner or to drive around to visit the region. It wouldn't necessarily be for clients who are looking for very high luxury with butler service or the full hotel experience. It's more for a more personable level, because as I mentioned, some of them don't even have star ratings. They're more how can you say, guest houses, luxury guest houses, and then some of them are hotels as well, 4-star or 5-star. So depending on the type of experience that your clients are looking for, the easiest would be to ask me. A lot of people ask me, they say, Laura, my clients want to go to Burgundy or they want to go to Loire Valley. What do you recommend? And then depending on how they're getting there or what the services they want, we can find one that would match what they're looking for. The Greater Southwest region is a big region. We don't have as many properties there, so we take up about one quarter of France here. Our new one is Villa A, only 3 rooms at that property. It's near Cognac area. So for anyone who knows that area, it's a lovely destination. It's not too far from Bordeaux, but it's still about an hour and a half drives to Bordeaux. Château d'Urteby is it's right in Saint-Jean-de-Luz. So it's right on the edge of Saint-Jean-de-Luz. So anyone who knows that region, it's not far from Biarritz. The Domaine des Perches is about 45 minutes from Toulouse. So also great locations. And depending on the experience your clients are looking for, we could find something that would work. A lot of people ask to do itineraries. We can help out with itineraries as well, driving itineraries usually, or simple train itineraries. So do not hesitate to let me know. This one here, for example, the Château de Saint-Privat-des-Prés, they do only weddings. They rent out the entire property for weddings or private events. So they're very used to that. They work with wedding planners and agents that book weddings. And I'll take you to a region that I believe Brazilians appreciate. Provence, Côte d'Azur, as well as further up in the Rhône-Alpes area. Maison-sur-la-Sorgue, I'll start. It's in the small town village of Ile-sur-la-Sorgue. It's called the Venice of Provence. As you can see, the river goes through. It's a small boutique hotel, only 5 suites actually, run by a lovely couple. I book that quite often. They have a small swimming pool as well, even though it's more a small boutique hotel. Domaine des Clos is between the golden triangle of Arles, Avignon, and Nîmes. So it's a great area for anyone who wants to visit Provence region. It's also not far from the Camargue area, which is known for its absolutely stunning region and views, as well as the horses and salt. And the Domaine des Clos I book it quite often because it has 9 rooms, but it also has 9 apartments. So for families, they have 9 apartments, the largest one being able to sleep up to 7 people with kitchenettes and all. On the Côte d'Azur, in Saint-Tropez, we have the very lovely Hôtel de la Ponche. It's very famous, but it's a historic hotel. It's more of a boutique hotel feel. It's right in Saint-Tropez. So it's a 2-minute walk to Ponche Beach. It doesn't have its own pool, but it does have access to the beach, which is a very short walk away. Hôtel de la Ponche was known for its, in the 1960s, it was where Catherine Deneuve went. So it was a very famous place for French actors and French stars and writers as well. So back in the heyday of 1960s, a lot of people would go there. It tends to have a lot of guests that come back every year, our repeat clientele. Bastille du Calalou is in the heart of the Verdon nature region. So it's near the Gorge de Verdon, so it's surrounded by green. For people who want to drive to discover the stunning area, it's a lovely option.
Laura, just a second. Sorry to interrupt you again. Regarding the rooms in the chateaus, they are all different. They are all the same. I think they're all different because different. And so on. So yeah. Different categories, right? Yeah. People are asking about room categories in the chateaus.
Sometimes sometimes the prices are always the same. The owners sometimes decide, okay, well, the rooms are similar in size and style, and the rate will be the same. And then they can choose which room, depending on which style they like for the guests. However, yes, typically each room is going to be a little bit different. For example, being the there'll be the beautiful suite, which is usually about the size of my apartment, and then there'll be smaller rooms as well. Most of them have the options for families as well, given the size. Some of them, but very few of them, some of them are adults only, so they won't take children under the age of 12, for example, just for a security reason. I'm thinking of one that has a river on their property. They don't necessarily want to deal with the being worried constantly if there'd be an accident with the children. But most of them, I would say 85% to 90% have wonderful options for children, often even accessories, all the necessary accessories for babies or baby beds and such, and then space as well. Some they also have cottages on the property that are separate from the castle itself. So for someone who wants to do a long stay, they could book a cottage that's on the property, and it feels like it's like having your own smaller villa on the property, and then taking advantage of the castle as well.
Not bad at all.
I'll move up north. So I didn't even really talk about the Rhône Valley area near Lyon, near Valence. This area is for people who like the Rhône Valley, the beautiful hills, the wine, the gastronomy of that area. There's so many things to discover. The Château de Saint-Tris is only about 25-minute drive to Lyon. So it would be easy to get to without that long of a drive for someone who would fly or take the train into Lyon. Up in Burgundy, there we go. We have some beautiful properties in Burgundy. The Château de Pierre-Clos being one of our favorites. Only 5 rooms, 5 suites there.
Je m'appelle Douglas Chen, je suis américain de New York.
I think we have...
Je travaille dans la mode.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I had a problem with my internet connection. I'm back. Sorry. Sorry about that.
No problem.
There we go. We are here. Yes.
I'll show you what region I'm in. I'm in Burgundy and the northeast, so Burgundy, Champagne, 2 wonderful regions, and not too far from Paris. Château de Pierre-Clos, for example, is an easy TGV ride from Paris. It's I'm trying to remember. I think it's an hour and 40 minutes from Paris on the TGV, and the chateau is about a 20-minute drive from the TGV station. So it's not too difficult to get to. And then to arrive here in this absolutely stunning castle with 5 rooms, they have as well their own vineyards. So they have their shop with all their wine, and they do wine tastings on a regular basis. And I think that's one of the main key reasons that many of our guests will stay at the Château de Pierre-Clos, because they get to discover the Burgundy region, but also have the experience while they're staying at the chateau. The Château de Courbon, just underneath, is a little bit larger property. They have 24 rooms and suites at that castle. It's unique. It's a 4-star hotel, but it's unique from the other properties on our collection is that it has a Michelin star restaurant. So here we're looking for it's a destination for travelers looking for gastronomy. They've got a beautiful swimming pool. It could be a destination in itself. You could go stay at the castle and not have to leave because they have a spa. The Michelin star chef will provide different meals every day if you stay there for a longer period of time. And then you could take advantage of the spa. Now, when you're in France, you see the regions as well. It's right between Champagne and Burgundy. So between Chablis and Champagne. So for those who enjoy wines and Champagne, it's a great region to visit in car to go for wine tastings as well.
And Laura, we have, a question from Cathy. At Chateau Courbon, we still have the incredible Japanese chef.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Exactly.
Nice. And they are also asking about transfers from train stations to the hotel. Can we organize that with the concierge as well?
Yes. Now, some of the properties, what I usually ask them to do is when we have bookings, is that they send, if they are unable to organize it, because sometimes they're a smaller team and it's just the family and maybe 2 or 3 staff, I can help out. Or I ask them to put the agents in touch with one of their main suppliers, and so that way everyone gets in touch with someone who's able to do it. Yes.
And also, just to have an idea, an average price they're asking about, an average price in a chateau close to the vineyard, for example.
Okay, so the Chateau de Gourmand, I have it on hand because I recently had an inquiry. For example, for the coming month, the rates are about, for the top room, we're looking at about 230 euros a night. I have other castles in Normandy, for example, that are in a little bit further and harder to get to from Paris. Their rates will approximately be between 140 to 100, to the larger room, which might be about 260. So depending on the property, it can vary quite a bit. Some are more luxury, so the rates are going to be closer to 300, and then others that are going to be that have fewer services as well could have rates easily about 140 to 160 euros. So
Okay.
Now, Saint-Tropez in high season summer, you're looking at 500 to 800 euros a night. It depends.
Of course, it depends on the season, of course.
Now, I'll finish. These 2 last ones are in Burgundy, the Abbey de Régny. It's an old abbey, so it used to be a home to 100 monks who stayed there, and it was from the 11th century. And the Chateau de Prix, as you can tell, is absolutely stunning. They also do both of those properties on a regular basis. They have weddings and events. A small anecdote is at the Abbey de Régny. My sister-in-law will get married there next year. And then I'll finish in Champagne. The 2 properties we have in Champagne, one is the Chateau de Picheny, 3 rooms only, so it's a small, what used to be a hunting hunting house, which has been completely renovated and fully done, really, really stunning in the heart of Champagne. And then the 25 bis by Leclerc-Briand, which is a little bit different from our other properties. It's a boutique hotel in the heart of Épernay. Now, Épernay is one of the main, with Reims, the main cities of Champagne. Épernay has the Avenue de Champagne, which is the avenue of Épernay, where all the main Champagne houses are located. This boutique hotel is on the Avenue de Champagne, and it's run by one of the Champagne houses, which is Leclerc-Briand, and they do, it's biodynamic champagnes as well. So obviously when you stay in their boutique hotel that only has 5 rooms, you get to do champagne tastings, and they will also organize a little aperitif and anything. They do transfers from the TGV station, transfer, of course, for the Épernay station, it's only a 5-minute walk, so it's easy to get there from Paris if you're traveling from Paris. So in a nutshell, 46 properties.
A lot of information.
So
yes.
I hope I got everyone thinking about France and discovering France and traveling through France, because as you can tell, our properties, you need to get out of Paris a little bit and discover the regions and everything that the country has to offer, the culture, the history, the wine, the food, of course, that every region has to offer. And then I'll quickly finish with our promotions. So if you once our borders open until the end of the year, or if you do have travelers that have the possibility with dual passports and nationality to come, we have extra offers throughout the end of the year. For agents, I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, we always offer complimentary breakfasts. That's all the time. It's not just until the end of the year. VIP amenities as well, flexible cancellation. And then I mentioned we're very family friendly. We love families and children, and we have amenities in our Paris and Aix-en-Provence. We have amenities for children and a lot of options for rooms and connecting rooms and suites and such that will accommodate families. So,
nice.
So there we go.
Amazing. We also have a question from Silvio regarding rates in Mansart and Brighton in Paris, just an average rate for September, October, for example.
Okay, a normal year.
A normal year, yes.
September and October is usually our high season, so we could look at rates for between about 300 euros to the most expensive being about 800 euros for our nicest room in the Brighton. This year, obviously, it's a lot less. It will be approximately at the Mansart, sometimes the rates are down to 180. The Brighton is slightly more at about 220 and upwards. So it's a lot more difficult this year, but otherwise, it's usually on average. What I always say for Mansart and Brighton is starting low and high season, so starting from about 250 and upwards, depending on the room category that the clients book.
Okay, thank you, Laura.
My example of connecting rooms. So family rooms is often a question I get. Connecting rooms at the Mansart, for example, in high season, you can look at about usually about 600 to 800 euros a night for the 2 rooms. At Brighton, with connecting rooms that have views, panoramic view, is in high season. It's about 1,300 euros a night. But that's the high season.
The top, yeah, okay. Yes, sounds very affordable. Wonderful hotel like this. Amazing. Wonderful presentation. Amazing properties. Great. Merci, grazie, thank you. So, then obrigada as well. Okay. Let's see if we have more questions about the hotels. If we can accommodate kids in the same room. So some of them have the possibility to have an extra bed, I guess, right,
yes,
Laura?
Yes. The Mansart and the Brighton, the rooms are spacious that from a certain category up, you can have 3 easily in a bedroom. At the Brighton, you can have 4. And at several of the other hotels, I'm trying to think, there's the Maison Amance, Hotel du Rond-Point des Champs-Élysées. They have suites that accommodate up to 4, and then connecting rooms that can take up to 6.
Okay, thank you. We also have an interesting question from Roberta about accessibility at the hotel.
Yes, absolutely. The French government makes it mandatory. So per 10 rooms, you have to have 1 accessible room. So in most of our hotels, we have at least 2 accessible rooms that have the space to be able to come in with wheelchair or with a walker, as well as all the necessary, how can you say, the handlebars and everything in the bathrooms and wider doors. Now, I usually put in recommendations of which hotel to book, because some of the hotels, the room is accessible, but maybe the elevator is a little bit too small.
Yes, it's not only the rooms, all the hotels, exactly. Yeah.
So there are a few where I would say maybe not the right hotel to book, but we have then many more to choose for that.
Okay. And another one, which hotel in Paris is the best for kids? What's your recommendation?
The hotel, it wasn't in my presentation because it's not open yet. We're crossing our fingers it will open this month. The Hotel du Rond-Point des Champs-Élysées. So it's perfect. So it's near the Champs-Élysées. That one has suites that will take a family of 3 or a family of 4. And they also have a swimming pool. So the added swimming pool, families tend to love it. And the general manager, she has kids of her own, young kids of her own. And so she will do as much as possible for children. Also, the Hotel Mansart, because they have the space, also they have, for older children, they have the video games that can be brought to the room. But all of the hotels have the accessories for babies. The Brighton as well, we get a lot of families at the Brighton. So I would say those are the top 3 for families. And then some of the other ones as well, we could book for families as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think we answered all the questions. I want to thank you once again, Laura, for your time. To all of us, I think we want to go to France right now, if possible. So thank you very much. It's wonderful properties, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Well, everyone's welcome. When you can come, please let me know, because I'm happy to welcome you and set up a place to stay so you can discover one of our hotels. So
ok, thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Gente, muito obrigada mais uma vez pela participação de todos vocês. Por favor, sigam a CAP. Se tiverem alguma dúvida, vocês têm o meu contato. E hoje mesmo a gente manda todo o material para vocês. Muito obrigada, ótimo dia e merci beaucoup. Merci, Laura.
Merci.
Tchau, tchau. Muito obrigada. Obrigada, gente. Obrigada mesmo. Até a próxima edição do CAP Convida. Tchau, tchau.